All right, here we go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Reyes Reflection Podcast. Please subscribe to the show and rate us. It is simply one click anywhere you get your podcast, and there's going to be clips on YouTube so you can see the guests tell their stories, short clips on YouTube. A random thought that I wanted to start you off with is this. If poison expires, does it become more poisonous or is it no longer poisonous?
Oh my God.
I will let you sit on that. I asked Belle Biv DeVoe their thoughts, but they haven't gotten back to me. With that being said, I would like to welcome a gentleman who reached out to me to jump on the pod. That's what I do. I'm willing to talk to anyone and everyone. So without further ado, he's the co-founder and CEO of the Popcloset app. Please welcome Michael Hulen to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. The problem with starting it out that way is like I have ADHD, so I'm going to be thinking about that the entire podcast. It truly messed with my brain a little bit. I don't even know how to answer. Dang it!
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem. Did I say your last name correctly?
Do you say Hulen?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Everyone gets it wrong, so that good.
How do people say it? Do they say Hulen?
Hulen, I get Hulen, like just anything. Helen, sometimes I've got it all throughout the years, but yeah, you got it right. I'm proud.
I get Reyes, and it's Reyes. So
Reyes,
yeah. So I hear you.
Yeah.
So as I stated in the intro, you're a co-founder and CEO of the Popcloset app. We're obviously going to get into the trenches of the app, how you started the app, all that jazz. But first, let's walk through the early days of Michael and how he became to present day. So we'll start from the beginning.
So I was born in Sudbury, Massachusetts. Honestly, kind of a rich town. But you know, I had a rough childhood, to be honest. I've had a lot of struggles with. I was in an abusive situation with my mom. Luckily got out now. And a lot of my early childhood was good until my parents started, they got into divorce, and it really went south with the stuff with my mom. Emotional abuse, not to take it dark, sorry, but psychological abuse, just manipulating me as a kid, even so much so as she just hated my dad so much that, tried to ruin my relationship with my dad, that type of thing. And that will play in later. So yeah, I kind of, I was always kind of wanting to find a way out for a while, like out of the household, but also, supporting myself in whatever way that I could. My dad always had that entrepreneur side to him. He was an English major in college and somehow ended up in the optics industry, like, infrared, that type of thing. So I always had him as an inspiration to how to be an entrepreneur, and he's always kind of showed me the path in that way. But it was all, I from a young age, I was always looking for problems around me wherever they were. And, that's how you start a company. It's like, find a problem and then also come up with a solution to it. So I just have lists of ideas. I literally have books and books of ideas, just training my brain to always look for, if there's a problem, how can I come up with a solution for it? And from a young age, actually, I've always been, obsessed with apps. I've never had the ability to make them because I just don't have the technical side, but I have the ability to see a problem and come up with an app to solve it. So like I said, kind of the books and books of app ideas. And I think I was always like the little guy in every situation. A mother is someone who should love and protect you and not use your secrets against you and not, just always be there for you. And I didn't really have that. A lot of what I fashion is something that I absolutely love. You know, sometimes I don't have the best style and I don't know what I'm doing, but I love the community, truly. And because they're all people that just want to express. They want to be able to express who they are through their clothing, through, you know, what they're wearing or what they're making or whatever it is. And a lot of them just want to collaborate. And, you know, the biggest thing about them is like a lot of these companies out there these days are just taking advantage of that, which it frustrates me. It makes me upset. We'll talk about the fast fashion industry, you know, when we talk about the app, but they just take advantage of the little guy, take advantage of the situation, whatever it is. And, you know, a lot of what was happening with my mom and in the house that I lived in when I was younger, you know, she was just taking advantage of any situation that she could to manipulate me. And, you know, with this app, I see an opportunity to, you know, give power back to the creator in what we're doing. And, you know, I don't know what a psychologist would say, but you know, that really stems from, you know, no one, you know, there are people that were there for me, but a lot of people that should have been there for me just weren't, that type of thing.
It's hard when the people who are supposed to love you don't.
Yeah.
And so for you, you've never been able to, shouldn't say never. It was harder for you to experience love in certain ways because the examples that were supposed to show you love, respect, guidance wasn't there for you.
Yeah.
So you're going a lot into the app. You're talking a lot about how the app has kind of helped you handle that trauma, handle those conflicts, but also resolve a lot of issues that you see in the world of fashion, in the world of apps, and what have you. So did you go to school for like app development? How did that work? How did you start into wanting to be in this industry?
So yeah, I talked about like the lists and stuff. I've always, when I was making those lists at an early age, I was trying to learn programming, but just some people it doesn't work out. It's really hard. And kudos to, you know, my entire team, but also all the computer science students out there, because I just couldn't get it. You know, it's like learning a language essentially.
Oh, for sure. I'm awful with technology.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't learn Spanish. I tried taking Chinese. That was a story. That was impossible. Yeah. So I've always wanted to make them. And I've always but I couldn't essentially. And I just, you know, I spent so much money on like app development courses and just never used them. And yeah, and I've always just wanted to find someone that could help me make an app, but it just took so long. It took probably 5 to 6 years for me to actually to find it. But from college, I'm in college right now. I'm a junior at UMass Lowell, University of Massachusetts Lowell, and I'm studying business. But from day one of freshman year, I just wanted to start a company to, to start a company. I don't know. And the first company what actually helped start Popcloset and Popcloset is I did a mask company right around where, like, before the pandemic happened. I started a mask company for like custom. Actually, it's funny. It's right here.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Those are nice.
Yeah. Here, I'll grab one. So I have a lot of, I did sell a lot of the inventory, but these are custom design. Like I designed these myself. And I always kind of like that graphic design, but I did make a decent amount of money on it, in which it helped me fund Popcloset, essentially, like the beginning stuff of Popcloset. But my biggest thing is a lot of the college students in college don't really take advantage of that time. Honestly, it's free time. It is free time. You know, you do a lot of school. You know, you're doing a lot of studying. All the rest of the time, it's kind of up for you to decide. You're not at home anymore. Your parents aren't telling you what to do. And honestly, a lot of my peers took advantage of that just to drink or party or, you know, whatever it was. And I've never been that person. You know, I don't want to figure out when I graduate from college, I don't want to be like, okay, so what am I going to do now? That type of thing. I've always been a kind of go-getter. You know, I'm going to do it now. Like freshman year, I started a company. That's, the mask company. And, yeah, like, and it's tough. It is tough because, you know, you want to kind of think about your mental health at the same time. And a lot of freshman year, I was just in my dorm room, but every time I went down to get pizza or a snack or something, I would see my friends like just coming back from drinking. And pretty much the thing that I said to myself every time is like, you know, they would invite me out and I would be like, in my head, I would say, you know, where am I going to be in 4 years and where are they going to be in 4 years? Like, and just every time that's what went through my head. So instead of going out, instead of partying, you know, instead of drinking, I just went right back up to my dorm and just worked on my mask company, so that I could make some money. And but very lucky timing with the pandemic.
I was gonna say that's so coincidental. Yes, yeah. Wow.
Coincidental, definitely. One of the things I've definitely started to notice about myself is maybe a year or a couple months before stuff is starting to happen. I kind of notice it early, like this with virtual fashion and stuff like that. You know, metaverse stuff. I've been working on Popcloset for like a year and a half. So a year and a half before, you know, Facebook announced Meta and all that stuff and, you know, went mainstream, I was already working on a virtual fashion platform, that type of thing. So, I mean, I would say that definitely with the pandemic, no one could have predicted that.
No.
But yeah, like once the pandemic happened, I had like online sales, mostly through kind of Facebook Marketplace. And my initial inventory sold out, which was crazy. To be honest, the original idea for the mask company was for like concerts, like dust masks, that type of thing, to put memes on masks.
Okay.
It was a really stupid idea, but
because this was before pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
You already started a mask company. And you were planning on having it show memes. And when you say concerts, what do you mean concerts?
Like festivals. So like a lot of festivals like Coachella and, you know, Burning Man are just super dusty. So a lot of people wear like masks to festivals.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. And, you know, I just wanted to make it funny, like put memes on masks that people love. The original idea for that, my mask company was called Statement Mask. But before that, it was called Weem, so like wearable meme, that type of thing. But yeah, I sold some of the meme masks. People liked them, but the like custom ones, like this one and some of the school ones that I have, people loved that much more. So yeah, and then I mean, with the mask company. Once the pandemic hit and once the big players started making masks, the mass producers type of thing, the market was completely flooded. Like there was no competition. Right now, it's really hard to truly compete against any, people who make their own masks, people who, design their own masks are just, there's no advertisement, competition. Everything's flooded. If you look for masks, it's just the biggest producers out there, that type of thing. So even the people that create them don't really have a place to show them off. It's kind of what we're doing with our platform. But yeah, so yeah, that's where I kind of got the funding for Popcloset. But to talk about the actual programming side, when I decided to really commit to Popcloset, it was just, I had no idea how to make an app. Honestly, I had no idea. And I just used LinkedIn to kind of reach out. I probably sent 500 messages to different programmers. I actually came across a woman, or an ex-co-founder, who is friends or dated one of my cousin's friends at Fordham, and she was on the team for a while and introduced me to my current co-founder, Jack, John Ramos or Jack Ramos. I don't really know which one he switches it up all the time, but yeah, like such an amazing kid, guy, and loves fashion too. Big streetwear person. I just remembered so we applied to YC. Like, we've applied to YC. Do you know what YC is?
No, I'm unfamiliar with that.
Y Combinator. So it's like, the company that helped start DoorDash, Instacart.
Oh, that's cool.
Coinbase, OpenSea, a lot of the Airbnb, a lot of the bigger platforms. Yeah, we applied a couple times. Like, the first two applications we had were just complete shit. Because we just had no, like, when we started, I was just a horrible CEO. Like, I just had, I just love, I had that graphic design from the mass and stuff. I just loved making kind of mock-ups of what the app could be. And there was no direction with it, like where we could go, how we can make money, all of that.
So with that, let's go into your app. Let's go into it as we're transitioning into your app. Okay, so cool. What are some of the functionalities of it? What does it entail? What is the app for the people who don't know what it is? What is the app?
Okay, so I'm going to start off with the pitch, and then I'm going to kind of go into me explaining it. So what Popcloset is it's a fashion social media app that's built to make sharing your closet easy. So sharing is really broad. We use sharing for a reason, because users can build their own virtual closets and have their friends view them, just like an Instagram profile, but it's your closet. It's separated into like categories, exactly like a closet might be, like tops, bottoms, shoes, accessories, and you can take photos and upload items to your closet so that your friends could see the items that you have. What we're launching with right now is just kind of those features, being able to search with your friends, see your friends' closets, even post photos of outfits. These are just all fill-in photos for now, but seeing the photos that your friends are at, seeing the items they're adding to their closet, what they're buying, where they're buying it, that type of thing. In the feed, we went with with the feed, like, do you use Instagram that often?
Yes, I'm on Instagram. So I don't check it as much as I should. I probably shouldn't say that because I'm trying to push my own stuff as well. But yeah. I don't check my DMs as well as I do, but I am familiar with it and I do use it.
Yeah, so we kind of wanted to take everything wrong with kind of, no offense, but everything wrong. No offense to this company, but everything wrong with like Facebook and Instagram. What they're doing wrong with their users and just kind of fucking over their users, pretty much is what they've done at this point for profits. Just take everything they've done wrong and things that people don't like and just build a platform that people will like. So one of the things I really don't like, and we kind of talked to a bunch of users about it, is like Instagram has all, I'm feeding them information, but whatever. When Facebook looks at this, but it's like people are sick of like the UI of Instagram. Like, it throws, essentially each post or each whatever on the feed has like a block for the profile, the photo, and then a bunch of blocks for, the like button, the comment button, like the comments is out. So it has like, do you know what I mean by that? Like, it's just a lot of information thrown at you all at once.
Right. Because there's the like button, there's the share button, the comment button, the save button, the button to see the comments. Yes. So the simplicity, I do agree with you. The simplicity is gone. I remember when it used to be simply you scrolled, you double clicked, and that was it.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing I really don't like about Instagram is it's like no offense to those people out there, but it's like my dog died, and then the next post is like a race car, and then the next post is like fashion. You know, they just implemented the like sorting, but it's just like following and like other or some, I forget what it is, but you know, we're gonna have capabilities to like pick what you want to see in your feed essentially, and like, you know, whatever type of fashion it may be. But I, being a fashion person, I just, I like seeing the people's fashion, but it's when with ADHD, I can't focus on so many different categories all at once, you know. And I think what Facebook and a lot of these platforms have done, like you see with Reels, you know, copying TikTok, is, you know, they've broadened the problem that they're solving, you know, broadened their platform so much in the name of growth that, like, what is Instagram at this point, you know, or what is Facebook? Like, if you pull up Facebook right now, it's like, it's all in your face, a marketplace, a news feed, like, what is that UI, you know? Disgusting.
It's like there's a meme that I saw where, I'm sure you're familiar with SpongeBob.
Yeah, of course.
Where this was one of the first seasons where the saleswoman goes, "This is Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward. Is there any other Squidwards I should know about?" I share that because there was a meme where they say, "This is Facebook, this is Facebook, this is Facebook. Is there any other Facebooks I should know about?" And so it just reminds me of that, because I really do. I know exactly what you mean. Sometimes you look at it, because they've even added like the little story features now that was Snapchat, solely right? Snapchat. Right, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, so it's just like, honestly, Zuck has run out of ideas. And, you know, I don't know. I just, if it's just me, sure. You know, I don't know the guy personally, obviously. Maybe I'll meet him one day, but I don't want a profitable, like someone who's so money focused running the platform for me, you know. Like, the day that I put the user second on Popcloset is the day I'll retire. It, like, quit, because it's like, you have a platform with users, and you, like, you know, all about all the like Facebook files and the data stuff and all the kind of, you know, crazy shit that he's done. You know, and he says he's going to change, but I think we're too smart at this point to know that it's not going to change when your platform is built on those ways, you know?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I just, like I said, I want to take everything wrong with Facebook and just make we need a new platform. I'm sorry. Like, we have TikTok. TikTok is awesome. Like, you know, maybe not their data stuff, but you know, in some of their trends are a little, you know, like, break your like school bathroom. Like, you know, we're not going to have any, we have like a zero tolerance for, you know, kind of bullshit like that. But I feel like Gen Z just needs a new platform. You know, Facebook's in the eyes of Gen Z, at least, like, Facebook's dead. I don't use Facebook. None of my friends use Facebook.
I hardly use it.
Yeah. And then Instagram.
I only used Facebook to stay in touch with a couple family members. That was it. Yeah, other than that, I don't.
You know, that's where your aunt is ranting about QAnon or whatever.
I just think that there's too much negativity, too much opinions, and too much bullshit that 9 times out of 10, I check it, I look it, I see something, and I'm like, fuck, I'm closing the app. Like, this is bullshit. And then Instagram is pretty cool sometimes. I don't like the insecurity that Instagram causes. That's my dislike with it. I don't like I need to have a certain amount of followers or likes or this. And I liked at one point where they took the like feature off, but then I thought that they were going to do it, and then it was like, oh, well, we're only going to do it if you want it off. And I'm like, I liked it better when they were floating the idea that they were going to take it off in general. That was, but
I don't like, I would say with the Instagram, you know, that whole thing that you mentioned, I think we had a long discussion about what we want to do with that stuff.
Okay.
it's hard to do with fashion. It is really hard to do because people want to know that, you know, an item they're adding to their closet that people like. Like, I think it's going to be hard with fashion with this platform because there's a hard balance between someone not liking something, you know, there's I meant to say thin line between someone not liking someone and not liking someone and not liking some like piece of item, you know, like an item or something. So, you know, we have to work on it. That's the honest thing. Like we have to work on, because the one thing we want to eliminate and we think is really bad is, I don't know if you know this, but, you know, with the Facebook files or whatever came out, Instagram knows that the way that their algorithm works, it causes a lot of mental health problems with teenage girls and stuff like that. They know that. And you know what? They left it in, you know, they didn't change their ways. Like, you know, TikTok with like the COVID-19 policy and whatever it is, you know, you can say this, even for example, Target, there was a big lawsuit with Target because a lot of their models, they said, you know, these are just, there's no makeup on these models. They would touch up, you know, with Photoshop or whatever. So now, you know, we want to go in the direction of, you know, if there's a model on there, it's like, you know, saying some kind of warning where it says like, you know, this could cause certain thoughts, or, you know, if you need help, you know, here's a phone number to help, or whatever, that type of thing. Instagram doesn't have anything like that, you know. Do you know what I mean by that? Just like there's a lot of,
because on TikTok it says like, oh, this action might be dangerous, or it says like this is related to COVID-19. Yeah, I do know what you mean. Exactly.
And like the things on Instagram is a lot of these girls have body issues, you know, because they're looking at these really good looking models or whatever it is. It's just like, you know, how we want to address those issues with fashion, you know, and doing that by, you know, focusing on the items instead of the actual like photos, you know what I mean? But with those photos, like coming up with ways of how we can, you know, help those women or men or whatever it may be, you know, that have those struggles, and not just ignore it like Instagram does. Not just make profit off of it. They could change their algorithm. It would be fairly easy to do so, but they don't want to. They want to make profit. But, you know, just being different, like that's it. Doing like the number one thing with our platform, doing the right thing, you know, and just like I said, like I don't want to be that CEO that is money first, you know. Obviously we have to make money in some way, but not at the expense of our users, not at their mental health, you know, that way, you know, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. So where do you and your team see your app going then? Because it sounds like you are very ambitious. Sounds like you see the need and the help that you can provide. But where do you see your team taking this app?
Honestly, I see us being just up there with TikTok, just being up there with Instagram. You know, just we haven't done much publicity. I can't say the word. I can't say it. Can you say it for me, please?
Publicity.
There you go. But like the stuff that we have done, it's going absolutely insane. Like we have this, I'll talk about it, this campus influencer program, and we have a bunch of different, you know, we want to bring back fashion, brick and mortar, just stuff like that. And you know, honestly, I see it going to the top. I mean, my co-founder will say it too, Jack will say it too, is there isn't any part of the day where I'm not coming up with, just like I said, like the list of ideas and stuff. There isn't a part of the day where I'm not coming up with new ideas for Popcloset, like new directions that we can go with it. And yeah, just keep growing. One of the things I didn't mention actually, and this is how the app started. A lot of women in the country borrow and lend clothes. And there's a lot of problems associated with it. For example, accountability. I'm a lender myself, or I'm a borrower and lender myself. So I'll borrow, one item from one person, and I'll borrow another item for another, and then I'll go out for the weekend or go somewhere, and then I don't write. It's just me. I don't write things down. Like, I don't remember which item belongs to who, if I'm supposed to wash it, when I'm supposed to return it. So it becomes this like horrible process of just like me lending my stuff out. I lose stuff, people lending to me. I, steal their stuff, or, forget who I should give it back to, that type of thing. It's just a bad system. And not many companies, are addressing that right now. Like this, it's an issue. And not only that, but a lot of like parents hate it too, because it hits the wallet. It really does. So, we're starting out with the social media side so that you could share a closet. But the biggest thing that we're going to implement is the lending system, where you can easily go into any of your friends' closets, request to borrow an item. They can decide whether they want to or not. If they accept it, we just kind of facilitate that not only that transaction, but also the handoff process. A lender can set washing settings, return date, late fees. Starting to work in that if you don't give the item back, your card starts to get charged. Okay. Like, if we if we're going to be sending notifications like, hey, remember tomorrow you're supposed to return this item to blah blah blah, and then like an hour before it's going to be like, hey, don't forget to return this item. The lender set late fees, and then as soon as that hour passes, it's going to start charging your card, like not that much, but like as high as like $1, that type of thing. So kind of just having that accountability system so that, it's happening in sororities. It's happening on college campuses all the time, where, people are lending out clothes, and they, one of the biggest things is like sororities, for example, all their closets just become one big closet. Cause it's like, this girl's items are in this person's closet, and then that person's, it just becomes all one big closet. So, kind of providing providing a feature where it just makes that whole process simple. And yeah, we tested our MVP out in a sorority, actually. And
I was gonna say, is that the base you're trying to get at?
Yeah.
It seems like when you first said everything, the idea, I was like, wow, I don't know if I would ever lend out my clothes. But then when you shared the sorority, I was like, whoa, like that's actually a great idea.
Yeah. We tested our MVP out in a sorority, and so like Popcloset, and the idea with being able to see into anyone's closet didn't exist at that point. We were just building a system essentially where you could take a photo of an item that you want to borrow, and it would just keep do that whole system of helping you keep track, but also returning it. And that's what the idea kind of started out with. And do you want to know why? Do you want to know the story behind it? And I haven't told many people this. The main reason I started this company, because I was losing sleep, which is really funny because I'm losing sleep now because of the company. So like, I talked about my mom's, the household with my mom and stuff like that. But every week my mom and sister would go out shopping together, and they're the same size. And that's something that women do, is share clothes. Not many men do it, but they would go out, get like a new jacket or something, I don't know, get new clothes, and decide to share it. So instead of buying 2 items, they buy 1. Then my sister would, bring the bag of clothes to her friend's house. She was in high school at the time. I was in middle school when I actually came up with the idea. And, kind of just go, here you go, hand out the stuff, so that her friends could borrow it. And then she would go out, get drunk, and then go home the next day and completely forget who she gave the stuff to. So every Saturday morning when my mom would want to go out with her friends, and, probably whatever time it was, but pretty early, probably 8 a.m., I would just hear my mom screams very loudly, and it's right next, my sister's room is right next to me. So she would scream so loudly, and it would wake me up in the morning because my sister lost the jacket that they just bought in this week that my mom wanted to wear. So from that, right then, when that was happening, I wrote it down in a book somewhere. And then, what actually happened is I went to college and I lent out, a favorite bathing suit of mine, and the problem happened to me. I experienced the problem, when I started lending for the first time. And in the summertime, when I wanted to go to the beach and, had the perfect outfit or whatever, and I couldn't find the bathing suit anywhere. And I'm like, I lent it out to my roommate in December, and I haven't gotten it back. And I never did. So then I went back, and because with all the experience of losing sleep when I was a kid, I went back in my notes, found it. And, that's when I started working on that summer. It was 2020 is when I started working on, starting the process of interviewing women and truly understanding like the problem and how I can build a solution to it. Funniest thing is the biggest problem I had for a while was I would start one company and then I would get another great idea and then, jump ideas essentially. And that's actually what, for a while, it took Popcloset so long to really, in the beginning at least. I started a makeup YouTube channel. No joke. I started a makeup YouTube channel called The Bad Makeup Artist. Because I'm not a type of person, I don't care about boundaries. Like some people might say, that's weird, or why is a male doing that? I'm a straight male. Like, why is he doing that? I just want to do new experiences, honestly. And I'd never done makeup before. And I was like, how can I make it unique? So I did makeup. I put out a couple of videos or whatever. I got up there like 200 views per video. And that's not like from my friends and family. That's just in general. And then what I was trying to do was make it funny. Because I feel like I'm a comedian. I love to laugh, that type of thing. Love to make people laugh too. It didn't come off that way. Like I went back and looked at the videos and it wasn't coming off that way. So I stopped doing that and decided just to focus on Popcloset. But just to be honest, like that's kind of in the beginning, it took a little while because I was doing other things. But then at that point after that, I just fully committed to Popcloset. And which was originally named Popclo, but someone stole our name, like literally trademarked our exact idea for Clo, which is fine. But just a young founder doesn't know what he's doing. So what I will say this to every founder out there that may be watching this is, if you have a name, trademark it. It doesn't matter how much money it may cost right now, which is, I think the fee right now is like $350. Trademark it, because down the line, if you lose the name and you have built your entire company around the name, that's it. Like you have to change your name. So we actually changed it to Popcloset, and that day that we figured out that someone stole it, we trademarked it that day, or filed it that day, and so that's kind of where I kind of got the idea. Just going to how we test our MVP out. So we did in sorority. We did it for a week. And we had the system where they would have to come, essentially like a library. We were the librarians. They would have to check items out. So we'd have to write down, what kind of item it is, who are you borrowing it from, what's the condition of the item, then like provide a phone number. So that essentially and like get a return date. So when the return date came, we sent a text to them saying like return it. So throughout that entire week, everything went smoothly. I think the only thing, there were a couple stains on some shirts, but there was some Venmos or whatever for like stain removers is what we worked out. But we had like this meeting at the end, wanted to kind of see how we can make it like a better, obviously like feedback, that type of thing. And one of the things that kept coming up is like, I don't want to walk all the way across the house, but like the sorority house, but to like see this, the stuff I want to borrow, I want to just see it right through my phone, and how can we do that? So we came up with this idea where you can not only share the clothes that you're buying and show off the clothes that are in your closet, but also combine it with like the lending system too, where you can easily borrow and lend from your friends as well. So that's where the idea that we have right now came from. We're launching like college by college, kind of like Facebook. And we have this campus influencer program. I would just like to kind of shout it out a little bit. So there's a lot of shitty ambassador programs out there, just to be honest, like where they literally take advantage of college students. We wanted like an ambassador type program, but we wanted it a little bit more interactive with students that love fashion. So we call it our influencer program. And, we look for 2 students per campus who have great fashion taste. They could have 4 followers, they could have 20, or 200. It doesn't matter. You just need to, be able to talk to crowds and have good fashion. And so what we do is, we accept them, we bring them into the program. And then they're going to help us like launch on their campus, but also like promote them to their friends and kind of be those people that we can go to for hosting events at their campus or whatever it may be. And in return, we verify them on the platform. We save the verifications for the campus influencers, normal influencers, celebrities, and designers. That's it. And we also promote them as well on the platform because we're going to have these, as we launch per school, we're going to have these like campus pages where you can see, the people like on teams. So like your school's basketball team, you'll be able to see everyone and be able to see all their closets sorted into that, sororities, be able to see everyone in your sorority, other sororities. And then like an A to Z list of everyone on campus that is a closet. But, they're right up on top. And people can see, easily click their profile, that type of thing. But we also, I think the biggest mistake, and this is, and you can disagree, or I kind of want your opinion on it, is like a lot of these platforms are advertising or trying to attract Gen Z or whatever it is. Like Gen Z all of a sudden is this new wave that all these companies want to win, essentially. But I think the way that they go about it is they, when they're going to release a new feature, they'll talk to 100 people or kind of, I forget what they're called, but, they essentially pay these groups to like give them opinions.
So like, focus groups.
Focus groups. Yeah. I always forget the word. But they don't actually go and talk to people, like real people. And one of the things we want to do with the influencer program is kind of have like monthly meetings where, we can talk to these influencers and ask them like, what should we add to the platform, and then kind of vote on it. If we're making a platform for the people, shouldn't the people have a say in what we add, that type of thing?
Hell yeah, they should. It's for the people.
So that's kind of it. Like, we just want to not only give these fashion lovers an opportunity to like maybe an opportunity they would have never had in their entire lives, but it just kind of give them a place to thrive. Essentially, that's what we're doing in the platform. Just giving, fashion lovers, creators, whatever it may be, anyone like to thrive in fashion. And then that kind of leads me into brick and mortar stores. So one of the biggest things that I hate is like how e-commerce has kind of destroyed brick and mortar. People, especially a lot of people in the fashion industry, they love thrifting. They love, going to boutique shops, shopping at small businesses, that type of thing. And I feel like there isn't a lot of platforms that kind of allow these drive people to these stores. So we've already started. I can't speak to them right now, but we've because we haven't implemented them yet. But we are going to have essentially a system that drives our users and new customers to brick and mortar stores. We have a map feature, and we're really going to use it to the fullest. The biggest thing with that is, I just want to say publicly, if you're a fashion brick and mortar store, or whatever it is, and you're listening to this, we have a sign up on our website, so you can have like a custom page. like we can show their store essentially, but we can't like customize a page without their permission, that type of thing. So we have a sign up on our website right now, where if you're a brick and mortar store and you pretty much want us to promote you for free, and you want to have a store location on the map where users can interact with it, you can sign up there. I don't mean to use your podcast as like, I'm just trying to get the word out. We don't have a...
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help people out. That's what I believe in. I believe in networking and getting the business out. So I think your head is in the right space, because I'm hearing a lot of things you're saying about how to help people, but also the brick and mortar. I'm a person who I like to go and see it, feel it, wear it. I very seldom do I buy something online and then have it shipped to my home. I like to go into the place, try it on, wear it, feel the comfortability. If it's not something, I had a mother figure, her birthday was actually the other day, growing up, and she said to me, I remember because one time she took me shopping for jeans, and I'll never forget the story. She said to me, if you don't love it while leaving the store, you'll never wear it. And that has stuck with me to this day. So I like to go into the stores, try it on before I walk out. I'm not one that, like I said, I don't want to be redundant, but I'm not one that I enjoy shopping online. Sometimes I think it's cool, but I prefer being in person. So the brick and mortar, I think you're on to something.
That is, I don't think I've ever heard something more true about shopping and buying stuff. Like, I've done that before where I've like, oh, I'll wear that. Never wear it.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think
shout out Mama Piper.
Shout out Mama Piper. Yeah, and I think like they're just the other, and I'll mention this because like our biggest, I mentioned so many of our missions, but our biggest mission is destroying the fast fashion industry, and we believe that we can truly do that. Do you know what fast fashion is?
I don't know.
Okay, so I'll just explain it for the viewers as well. Fast fashion is quickly manufacturing essentially stolen items or stolen creations. So like there's a lot of fast fashion companies out there, and one of the main thing that they do is they go to runways, or they go on Instagram and find like smaller, not too popular designers, and they see what's popular, and they steal their creations. That's literally in the entire industry. Stealing right off the runway, stealing right off of Instagram, stealing off of other platforms. Take the design, give them to the manufacturers in China, mass produce them in all different sizes, change them a little bit, just so it's not, they're not copying exactly. And then they make all the profit off of stolen creations, is essentially the entire industry. Not only is it bad for the environment because they waste, a lot of the clothes go to waste when they're off the shelves, that type of thing. But the creators get their creations stolen, and other people are profiting off of their creations, their hard work. So not only do we have some things planned for the app to literally will wipe out 75% of the fast fashion industry with just this feature. So we're coming for your profits. If you're watching this, just letting all the fast fashion companies know we're coming for your profits.
Prior to this, I've never heard of fast fashion, but now that I have, I hope that you freaking kick their ass. I hope.
Yeah, we are. And just giving, like, once again, Popcloset, not only a place you can show off, but eventually it's gonna become a tool where you can just post whatever you want and shit won't get stolen. And just like I said, power back to the creator, that whole thing, sticking up for the little guy, that type of thing. And I just want to shout out my team real quick. So we have Jack, who's a co-founder,
or John. Dan, he's a programmer, front-end programmer. So he literally, I everything you see in the app, I create like visually, like I create the design for it. But he takes everything and he puts it in code. So he's amazing. And then our back-end programmer, Lucas, too,
Daniel Dickey and Lucas Simonson. They're both amazing, and we couldn't do any of it without them. So I just wanted to shout them out. But we just want to do everything that not only like change the just something new. Like I don't know about this if you agree with this, but Instagram is just one walking advertisement at this point.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're coming for you, Instagram. Oh yeah, one more thing. You can download we're launching next week, so you can download it probably now. Publicly. So just you can look up Popcloset on the App Store.
All right, find it on the App Store. I love it. Well, awesome. I love that you're going to take Instagram. You're going to kick their ass. I love the hard work that you're doing. So once again, thank you for coming on, sharing your story, being vulnerable. I appreciate you shouting your team out. Shows that you're a great team player. Couldn't do it without them. Thank you for tuning into another episode of the Reyes Reflection Podcast. And as always, may you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm the male Oprah, and I love you all.